Good evening, friends. Thank you for joining in today. We will give Abhirath, who is our guest for today's conversation, a couple minutes before he sets up his computer. In the meantime, today we are going to talk about maintenance, which is a very pertinent topic in today's industrial environment, where downtime is very critical. Being prepared for urgencies, disruptions is extremely important, and that's the time that every maintenance team wants the right type of tools and right type of strategies to be in control. And that is where we would like to talk to you about a very important product that has been launched or being offered by Rockwell Automation. It's called FIIX. FIIX is originally an American company which was acquired by Rockwell Automation a couple of years back, and now is here in India with full throttle, complete support, and complete guidance. So Abhirath is here with us. He works. He's a product manager and technical expert as far as this category is concerned. Abhirath, are you ready? Have you got your controls as
Yes,
far as
right.
screen sharing and stuff is concerned?
Yeah, all good.
So welcome and thank you for taking the time and talking to us and our customers, our team members. They're all on this call, and we are all very eager to know what FIIX is all about and how it can actually help the maintenance teams in the manufacturing setup.
Yeah.
However, before I hand over the presentation to you, a little brief about Pima, who has just come up for people who are first time on this call. Pima is the distributor for Rockwell Automation here in Western India, and we have been in this partnership with Rockwell for more than 3.5 decades, and we have worked with many of you in different capacities, mainly supporting you for your PLCs, drives, services, electrical panels, and so forth. So this is another product which is our expansion into the software space. Nowadays, as you know, most industries give very high priority to working on Industry 4.0 and digitization, and how they can use software and digital tools to run their factories in a more efficient way. So with that, I will ask Abhirath to please take over and give us a brief about what FIIX is all about. And after your presentation is over, we will drill you a little bit more on what questions that we have.
Sure.
Over to you.
Sure, Vineet, and thanks a lot for that introduction. And very good afternoon to all who has joined here in for today's session. So without further ado, let's get into how we can simplify our journey to a modern maintenance strategies, right? So as Vineet introduced, FIIX is a company that was acquired by Rockwell 1 or 2 years before, but the company was still there. It is a decade-year-old company focusing very much on the maintenance strategies and implementing new age technologies like AI to optimize the whole maintenance strategies that you have. So as the company is already a decade year old, there are around 3,000 customers or 3,000 teams who are currently using the maintenance tool, and it is spread across 90 countries to begin with. So this is an interesting study that was conducted by IDC, who is a third-party consultant like Deloitte and EY. So in this study, what IDC did was it compared around 80 to 100 companies who implemented FIIX. So they captured some matrices and they compared the performances before and after implementing FIIX. And these are some of the key results that we found out of those study, that after implementing FIIX, our customers were able to reduce the production related cost by 10%. There was an improvement in the maintenance team by around 44%. Reduction in operating expenses came down by 10%, and some other benefits such as MTTR, mean time to repair, we were able to reduce it by 20%. Efficiency in the equipment inspections went up by 73%. And last, we had asset related downtime, that is unplanned downtime, to be reduced by 27%. So these are all numbers that we got on an average from different customers who had moved from a manual method to a fixed computerized maintenance management system that we are talking today. And before going in to computerized maintenance management, just for all of us to be on the same page, what is maintenance management, right? So maintenance management is the process by which a company's assets are controlled using time and cost, but the aim is to maximize the efficiency of the manufacturing process. And the one and foremost goal of any maintenance team is always to ensure the production, and they are doing a lot of firefighting at times to get the production up and running, and that's their highest priority. And sometimes in this priority, other preventive maintenance or other processes that are in place tend to be ignored because this is their highest priority. And generally, what we have seen in many of our customers is that this is accomplished by multiple methodologies that has been evolved in your organizations, mostly with using softwares, some softwares and practices, and of course, maintenance team persons who are taking care. So I would like to know like how the maintenance is happening in your organizations today. And for that, we have a poll now. Pranchi, can you pull up the first poll that we have? Yeah. So it will be, yeah, thanks. So it will be very insightful for us to know what is the kind of strategy that you have currently in your maintenance management as your maintenance management strategy. So talking about strategies of maintenance, right? So this is the chart which shows how you can improve your strategies from the any stage that you are currently in and how you can build up the strategies. So here at the bottom, we have a run to failure strategy. So that's a reactive approach whenever there is a problem that is happening in the software. I hear a lot of noise coming in. Yeah, thank you. So at the bottom, we have a run to failure, which is a reactive approach. So whenever a machine fails, the maintenance team just goes in and understands the problem, and then they try to resolve it. So they run to the problem and get that sorted out. So that's a run to failure strategy that all of us, all the organizations would have. But these days, most of the organization, and I'm sure in your organizations also, we have moved to the second stage, which is preventive based on time. So to be specific, it is doing preventive maintenance based on time, such as maybe a weekly every once there is a cleaning of the machines, or monthly there is a lubing, or there is a change of spare parts. Depending upon the criticalities of the machine that you are using, there are more number of preventive based maintenance that you are introduced into the shop floor based on time, that is weekly, monthly, daily, hourly, every shift, based on the criticality of the machines, of course. So that's preventive based on time. Another strategy which is more evolved than based on time is preventive based on usage. So here, rather than doing a maintenance every month, the maintenance is done based on how much the machine was used. For example, how many time the machine ran, or how many units the machine produced. For example, there is a preventive maintenance of cleaning done after every 100 hours the machine has been run, or there is a spare part replacement done as a preventive maintenance after 10,000 units has been produced by that machine. So these are strategies that can be used while moving into a preventive maintenance based on usage. Excuse me. Sorry for that. So that's a another strategy wherein we can use a preventive maintenance based on usage. Another strategy is a condition-based maintenance. So in condition-based maintenance, what happens? We monitor the sensor data. So how is the data of the sensor, like temperature, sound, or humidity that is happening? And whenever there is a peak or a dip in the data that we are monitoring, then we trigger a maintenance management or a maintenance work order. So that's condition-based maintenance. And finally, we have predictive forecasting, where we use the modern AI or ML techniques to predict failure even before the failure actually happened. So that's predictive forecasting. So CMMS, so the fix that we are talking today can help you to reach whichever stage you are, either you are on a run to failure, reactive mode, or preventive based on time, or even to preventive based on usage. CMMS will help you to rapidly achieve all these goals up to the third stage. And Rockwell as a technology provider can also help you in doing condition-based maintenance or predictive forecasting along with our partners such as PIMA. I hope these slides are clear. And I would also want next poll now to understand what is the kind of maintenance strategies that is implemented in your organizations currently. Let's see, we have the next poll now. Okay. So sometimes what I hear from customers are everything is running fine, whatever methodologies that we have today for maintenance, everything is running fine. But why do we need a CMMS? So sometimes the pain points that you have are not very evident. And what we have heard from our customers as pain points are these, like we are always ordering parts on an emergency basis, the spare parts. There is no visibility into the stocks, how much spares has been purchased and how many spares we have in the stock, or which site has how many parts. If you have multiple sites, which site has how many parts in this storage, and what is the number of parts in the other storage? Are they able to interchange these? Or are you facing difficulties in planning the resources? Who is supposed to do what work and who is free so that other work can be allotted to him? And these are the some of the pain points in the resource allocation. So there is a team is mostly doing emergency maintenance, right? Every time it's a reactive approach then, or you are calling your vendors, OEM vendors at the very last minute always. So you have a firefighting to be done always, or multiple requests that are coming from other departments. You are not able to track them properly. What kind of requests are coming from which department? Have you resolved that request that is coming in? That tracking is very difficult in your organization, or there is a lot of duplication going on. You have to manually write the records, you are entering it into some other system, you are tracking it in an Excel sheet. So there is a lot of duplicacy of the work that is supposed to be done happening. And there is no access to more data, detailed data like SOPs, maintenance manuals, or to the drawings of the machine. Every time you have to run, find out where these documents are, or look at the schedules of what are the multiple schedules that has been done. So there is no access into the data that is actually there. And supervisor is having less visibility as on where the assets are, where the asset has been moved, what are the requests coming in for multiple parts of the assets. So these are some of the pain points that we have heard from our customers. And if your team or if your organization is also having such kind of pain points, it's always a good idea to look into solutions like CMMS. So now I will play this small video. So this video will give us an introduction about FIIX, the CMMS software that is in discussion today.
There's a lot of pressure on maintenance.
I hope you are able to hear the video. Pranji, can you confirm or Vineet?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, able to hear.
We can hear.
You?
Yes.
Teams these days. Stiff competition and high production quotas mean equipment uptime is a must. But it's hard to stay on top of things when you're stuck fighting fires and dealing with broken processes, out-of-date systems, and disconnected operations. All of this adds up and can result in maintenance chaos. Luckily, FIIX is here to help by simplifying your journey to modern maintenance. Think of us as your guide, helping you navigate the ins and outs of buying, setting up, and using maintenance software. Our CMMS is built specifically for your maintenance team and gives you the power to evolve the way you work. Organize assets, ensure performance of critical equipment, and keep your maintenance team focused on the right tasks. Make data-driven decisions to increase maintenance efficiency and deliver better business performance. And connect across business systems and teams seamlessly. Regardless of where you're starting out, FIIX is there with you every step of the way. We'll partner with you and give you the tools to evaluate, buy, implement, and integrate maintenance software. So join us. Beat maintenance chaos for good and start your reliability journey today.
So that was a small intro on what FIIX is. Now let's deep dive into what are the multiple modules and the capabilities that these modules brings for you. So on the bottom, you can see these are the 4 basic modules that we have in FIIX. And on top, these are the 2 advanced modules that we have in FIIX. So the first module is called work order management. So when we say work order management, it's always maintenance related work orders that we are talking here. Who is supposed to do what maintenance work on which day or when for how long. So everything is combined inside this work order management module. So here you can submit the work orders, arrange the work orders, track the work orders, or it can also be work orders can be triggered based on events. If we are doing an integration, when there is a fault code generated by the machine, our platform is able to understand there is a fault and it will create a work order automatically. Or if there is a scheduled maintenance, so based on time, like every month, every hour, or every week, the work orders can be created automatically, or even we can do it based on usage data. So once we are collecting the meter readings from the machines, we would be able to create these work orders automatically based on the limits that we have set. Once these work orders are assigned, it is not just that we are assigning the work orders, we can also assign SOPs, subtasks, and what are the spare parts that has to go into that work order also. So our maintenance technicians who are being assigned to this work orders get all the information that is required for him to do that particular work. Second is asset management. So here the asset management is concerned or pointed towards the maintenance point of view. It's not an OEE solution as other asset management terms say. This is more like a central repository wherein you have all the information related to your assets collected in to this central repository. So when I say information, it can be meter readings, multiple files that you have, warranty details, BOM details, all the logs, whatever operations has been done on that asset, like maintenance, spare part consumption, or the work logs. So everything, all the information that is regarding any assets are collected into this central repository for your asset management. This also has a QR code functionality in it, wherein you can print out the QR codes generated in the FIIX and then paste it on the actual assets. So once you scan these QR codes, you will get all these details in your handheld devices also. So the next module is parts and supply management. So this is the module that will help you in giving more visibility into the kind of spare parts that you have. It will allow you to track the consumption of multiple spare parts, where each of the spare parts are located, and it will also help you in keeping a good inventory. For example, once we keep a limit that the minimum holding amount of spare part is say 5, whenever the consumption goes below 5, the system will notify you so that you don't run into a stock out kind of a scenario and you have enough spare parts every time with you. And the last basic module is reporting and analytics. So here there are 3 things in reporting and analytics. One is the real-time dashboard, which will give you very insightful information on a real time using simple dashboards, like how many number of work orders are opened, how many high priority work orders are there, what is the MTTR of your machines. So basically the KPIs of a maintenance team can be tracked using the real-time dashboards. Second is the reports. So in the reports, in the FIIX software itself, there are around 100 pre-built reports that can be used by you and can be automatically sent to inboxes of you or your supervisor. So that's the pre-built report. And there is a report designer using which you can build multiple reports which are in alignment with the kind of reports that you are already building in your organization also. So these are the four basic modules. I'll be showing you demo on these four basic modules, how these modules work on an actual software. So it will be more clear for you if you have some doubts as of now. So apart from the basic modules that we discussed now, FIIX also has two advanced modules. So the advanced modules are a FIIX Foresight and FIIX Integration Hub. And FIIX Integration Hub, which we will be talking now, is a hub that helps in integrating FIIX with production systems as well as business systems. So when we say production system, it includes control systems like PLCs, like Rockwell PLCs, Siemens PLCs, Honeywell PLCs, or DCS for that matter. So we can collect the data, and what kind of data would be collected? It would be like the meter readings or some events. So there is no historical data stored here. It is the real-time data of events or the meter readings that are getting collected into this integration hub. And this is done so that we can automatically create work orders whenever there is a fault coming in the production systems. So we can also integrate with directly with IoT sensors, historians, and other fleet also using the integration hub of FIIX. Now we can also do the integrations with multiple business systems. For example, if you have an ERP in your plant already, maybe an SAP ERP or an Oracle ERP, we can integrate that into the FIIX platform so that the data exchange of what are the purchases that has to be done or what are the inventory data that you currently have can be seamlessly flown from one system to another system. So that's the integration hub functionalities that are there. And then we have FIIX Foresight. So FIIX Foresight is the AI module that we talked about, and it is one of the first, and I think it's the only AI engine that is purposefully built for the maintenance teams. And this actually analyzes, make recommendations, planning, purchasing and scheduling, and it makes your life much more easier. So there are two parts to FIIX Foresight. One is parts forecaster and other is work order insights. So parts forecaster basically solves the parts dilemma problem that your organization might be facing today. So when it comes to spare parts purchasing, there is two options: either store a lot of spare parts or buy little spare parts. When you store a lot of spare parts, you are tying your working capital into that. So there is a lot of money going into that capital, which you are using to buy a lot of spare parts, and that's inventory that you are keeping. Or if you are buying less number of spare parts, you might run into a stock out kind of scenario also. So this is a dilemma any organization would have, either buy a lot or buy little, but both has its own dilemmas that has to be solved. So the part forecaster, what it does, it understands and it learns from the consumption patterns of the spare parts, and it will give you recommendations on what is the quantity that you need to purchase so that you are optimizing your whole spare parts inventory, and you are not either buying a lot of spare parts or you are not either buying a very little spare parts. So it is a report that is produced by the parts forecaster. It is something like this. So it will have the part ID, which is this parts, and it will also give a recommended quantity for purchasing. So by implementing parts forecaster, we have seen there was an increase in the accuracy of prediction or accuracy of forecasting how much parts has to be purchased. Traditionally, we have seen either min or max or a rolling average kind of a calculation that are done. So this part forecaster is 50% more accurate than these traditional methods. We have also seen a reduction of 50% in the working capital. So for example, if your organization has bought spare parts for 10 lakhs over a period of time, FIIX would be able to make it into around 5 lakhs. So you are not tying a lot of working capital into these inventories, and 40% reduction in the stock out scenarios. So for example, if your organization is having 10 events of stock outs because you didn't have the proper spare parts, you were able to reduce it by around 6 events annually. So that's the kind of benefits that were availed by implementing the parts forecaster. Now, moving on to the next one in the FIIX Foresight module, that is the AI module, is work order insights. So in work order insights, basically inside the CMMS system, we are now collecting a lot of data, like who is doing what work, what is the spare parts that we have, what work order took how much time. So we are getting a lot of data, but what is the point if we are not able to analyze this data and then do informative decision making out of this, or to improve the efficiency based out of all this data collected? So work order insights does exactly that for you. It will go through all the data that is collected inside the CMMS system, and it will actually flag what are the high risk work orders or medium risk work orders. It will also tell you what kind of abnormality was detected in each of the work orders, so that you can focus exactly on those work orders to improve the efficiency of whole maintenance management team, right? And by implementing work order insights, we were able to see an increase in asset performance by 50%, a decrease in asset downtime by 80%, and 33% improvement in the whole maintenance team's efficiency also. So these were some of the things that we were able to see by implementing work order insights. So now, what are the values that you could see by implementing the FIIX in your business organization? But before this, there is one more poll that is available to see what are the pain points that is there in your current organization on the maintenance management. Prachi, if you could pull up the next poll, please. Great. So what are the value proposition, or what are the benefits that you would get out from these implementing CMMS? So it will be actually tied directly with the pain points that you have, but in general, it would lower your maintenance cost as a whole. It can improve the productivity of the maintenance team. It leverages the existing IT OT investment. So with the integration hub, it will be able to talk to even your IT system as well as OT system also, so that whatever investments you have done, it's all interlinked and you are getting more value out of the investments that you have done. Also, FIIX is a SaaS offering, that's a software as a service offering. So you don't have to invest additionally on the IT hardwares when you are doing FIIX actually. And finally, it will improve the asset performance, and these can be clearly be visible in MTBF and MTTR metrics that you are measuring in your organizations today. We will now move on to the demo. So first I will play this video, short video, which gives you full insights on what are the multiple ways in which we can use FIIX. And then I will take you to an actual instance wherein we can discuss in detail what are the multiple modules and capabilities that we showed earlier.
Welcome to our demo of the FIIX CMMS. In this quick demonstration, we'll cover the basics of the FIIX platform and highlight how you can use FIIX to easily manage your work and your team and keep your assets running at their best. Let's get started. The first thing you see when you log in to FIIX is the dynamic dashboard, which gives you instant insight into key information such as the number of work orders that were or were not completed during the previous shift. You can customize the dashboard to include any widgets or filters that are important to you. And when you see something you want to know more about, Just click on the widget to quickly identify and action high priority items, like overdue work orders. You can even take a look at performance at a plant level or see how all of your sites are performing as a whole. If there are any issues that require immediate attention, use the calendar feature to quickly assign work to a team or individual users. Instead of using your radio to dispatch technicians, FIIX will automatically send out a notification once you've assigned a work order, so that work never falls through the cracks again. Use the scheduled maintenance module to keep your maintenance programs running smoothly. Set any repeating work orders, such as preventive maintenance or inspections, to automatically run by time schedules, meter readings or asset condition, and event triggers from integrations with production systems. You can even attach SOPs, checklists, a bill of material for parts, and files such as manuals or images directly to the work order to make it easier for your team to get the job done. The best part is, once a team member is assigned to the work, they can use the mobile app to resolve maintenance issues quickly. Not only can they easily open a push notification to pull up a work order, they can also use the app offline if they're in an area with no internet connection. The app helps teams quickly sort and prioritize tasks and access asset information and work order history on the go so that they know exactly what needs to be done to get the asset up and running again. The app also makes it easy to scan barcodes or QR codes to record parts usage, attach photos, complete tasks, log labor hours, make notes, and more. And of course, closing a work order is as simple as selecting an option from a drop-down menu.
So as you saw now, FIIX also has a mobile app as part of it. So this is the app which the technicians can use. This is the recommended workflow so that it's easy for them to open, close, record their spare parts that were used. It's easy to click pictures rather than taking notes on what happened and how things happened. You can easily click pictures and add voice notes. So all this makes life of maintenance technicians much more easy when we are using this kind of this mobile app, which is included along with the FIIX.
Menu. When you track parts consumed against a work order, we'll automatically adjust your inventory and notify stores personnel of upcoming parts required for your PMs. If the part is low on stock, we'll send you a notification so that you can issue a PO for reorder. Whether your plant is using FIIX to manage spares directly, or you've got it connected to your inventory management system, such as an ERP, we'll make it easy to track supplier information, consumption rates, and reorder levels. When it comes time to measure and report on your work, use over 100 pre-built reports to analyze maintenance activities and understand what's working and what's not. You can even automate reports so they're delivered directly to your or your manager's inbox. If you're looking to send data from your CMMS to business software such as SAP, Oracle, or NetSuite, FIIX's Integration Hub makes it a breeze to connect your systems. You can even collect data from production systems such as sensors, PLCs, or SCADA to trigger condition-based maintenance work. So say goodbye to paper work orders, whiteboards, spreadsheets, and hard-to-use software, and simplify your journey to modern maintenance with FIIX.
So that was the short video. Now we can go into the actual demo. So you can see here, it's a SaaS offering. So what you would get is a custom URL wherein you can use your username and password to log in. So, and this is the dashboard that we are talking about, which gives you highlights on the KPIs. You can very easily add or edit this dashboard. So you can just close off something and then rearrange. And then once you click on save, it saves it like that. Or if you want to add some more widgets, for example, you want to see overdue work orders. So I can just add that here. And once I click on save, it will show me there are around 188 work orders that are overdue.
Abhirath, we have a question. Do you want to take it now or you want to take it later?
We can take it now also, no problem.
Yeah, so Mr. Sajan Prajapati has raised his hand. Do you have a question, sir?
Yes, I do have. Yeah. Thank you very much for invite us as a team of maintenance team from McCain Foods India. And I do a little question on the previous slide that you have been shown us that how do this software is going to be a line or become a breeze of the two different software that let's say suppose we are using SAP over here in our system, right?
Okay.
So how is going to be work with our existing system since our system is globally operated? So how? Yeah, this is my query.
Yeah, so it's basically to do with the integration. So FIIX as a SaaS offering has many open APIs, and these APIs are able to connect to the SAP APIs also. So for example, the common integration that we do are like asset a number of spare parts, because your POs and purchasing everything would be in the SAP. We collect that data and bring those data into this system actually. So for example, here you can see these are all the spare parts and stocks that are available. And these numbers of how much is the quantity in hand might be something that you are tracking in SAP, right? Because whenever you receive a PO into your facility, that's where it is getting updated. So we can use such kind of integrations to collect required data from your SAP or ERPs and then use both of the system parallelly. For example, if you want to submit a purchase request, once that integration is done, once you click on this particular button, there will be a request gone to the purchasing department, which can be integrated within the SAP workflow also. So that's how we do the integrations between multiple systems.
Okay, thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you. So now going back onto the dashboards that we had. So you can see here we had 188 overdue work orders. And if you want to see more details of that, we can just click on that. It will show us all the work orders that are due now. So these are work orders, descriptions, priority, on which assets all these work orders were supposed to be done, who are the users who are supposed to do it, and what kind of maintenance it was. Was it preventive, corrective, inspection, or electrical, mechanical? Based on all these are configurable. So based on the preferences that you have currently, and we can capture all this data. So calendar feature you saw in the video. And if I go to the maintenance, scheduled maintenance, so we can see these are all the scheduled maintenance. So every year on November 1st, every Monday at 12 a.m., every 2 weeks. So there are many scheduled maintenance that are configured here, which are supposed to be done on multiple of these assets. So these scheduled maintenance work orders will be automatically generated and assigned to these users when they are supposed to do it. Is there a question?
Yeah, Abhirath, we have a question from Mr. Sanjay Verma.
Yeah.
Mr. Sanjay, please.
Yeah, myself Sanjay Verma from McCain Food. I am looking the maintenance team, maintenance department, and just I have one question related to notification. Once we integrated SAP with our maintenance system like this software, so is if any notification create or plan any maintenance plan in system, then any option to get any notification on email
Yes.
or like somewhere?
Yes, so there are two ways in which we can do that. One is you can activate the notification through emails. Second is if you are implementing the mobile app that we saw in the video, in the mobile app also you will get notification like any of your mobile app like WhatsApp or Facebook, how you get the notification. In that manner also you will get the notification. So you will get it in email as well as in app notification.
Okay, that's great. That's great.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So here we have task group. So task group is like what are the tasks, subtasks that are common. So common PM checklist is one of the tasks. So if I select that particular task, what are the multiple tasks? For example, checklist can be similar tasks for similar machines. So there will be 5 steps, similar steps for checking that machine. So those can be grouped here. And when we are allocating a work order, we can just call this task clicks so that all the subtasks are also allocated along with the work orders. We have project also. So project is used for, planning the shutdown, annual shutdown or an upgradation projects. So you can plan projects using this notification, sorry, this option. Then we have the assets module. So we talked about the different assets that we had. So based
Sorry to disturb. Sorry to interrupt you.
No problem.
Just one question.
Yeah.
Need in this app need to make a task for all the equipments, like we having a check sheet there and numbers of checkpoints. So we have to create all individual tasks for all the checkpoint, or we can or there is any option to attach the checklist on in this system in the equipment.
Yeah. So we can attach the checklist actually. So it's one-time job to create this checklist. So once this checklist is created, so if I will show you how we can create a work order. Let me just log in. So if I have maintenance, I am creating a new work order on a particular asset, right? I have to select which asset I am going to do that particular work on. So on the conveyor one. So here we have a task list. Let me just show completion labor task. Yeah. So if I add, I can get what are all the multiple task lists here actually. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So here there is machine daily inspection. So there are 7 tasks. So once we have already configured what are all the checklists, we just have to select what is that checklist. Okay. And all those checklist is automatically allotted to that particular work order.
Okay.
So it's only one-time configuration, and after that you can just easily add whatever task you want to add to that work order.
So on a single work order, we can add multiple tasks.
Multiple checklist on a single work order. Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Thanks.
Thank you. So again, coming back to the, let me just go to another instance which has more data actually. So coming back to the assets. So here we have main facility. So instead of one facility, we can also have multiple facilities. Like if you have a factory in Bangalore, one in Chennai, one in Vadodara. So you can have multiple facilities listed here and your departments and multiple lines and assets come under that. So if I select this particular asset, this is the QR code that we discussed. You can print and keep this QR code on the actual asset also. We can add what are all the parts going into that machine, meter readings like voltage, usage of water, hours, who are the people who are supposed to work on that machine, warranty details, business detail, purchase details, any other files such as manuals and drawing. If you need to add some custom details also, we can add that. Financial details can be recorded. And here we have the log. When was the asset moved from one area to another area? What are all the scheduled maintenance that are there for that asset? How many work orders are open for that particular asset? History of work orders, who did what work on that asset? So all the spare parts that were consumed. So everything that is related to the asset is stored centrally in this asset management module. Any questions on the asset management? Okay. Then we have parts and supplies. So all of these are spare parts that are going in. So once you click on any spare parts, we get to see in which aisle, in which row, in which bin it is stored, what is the quantity in hand, how much is the minimum quantity. So whenever the quantity on hand goes below this minimum quantity, there will be alerts generated so that we can purchase more quantities of this spare parts. And finally, we have reports.
Yeah,
So,
Abhirath, we have one more hand that is
Yes.
raised. It's from Sia Sales. We don't know who the gentleman or
Yes,
lady is.
Can
Can
you hear?
you introduce yourself?
Yes, sir. Myself, Pasim Maniar from Sia Sales.
Hi.
Yeah, Mr. Maniar.
Yeah, sir. Every time we have for the material requirement, some material has to be handy in our hand for
Yes.
any kinds of. Suppose we go for the maintenance for the
Right.
preventive maintenance. So some materials has to be handy. So we require them as quick as possible.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any possibility that we can not assign that in SAP and before SAP or after assigning the order in the SAP?
So here, when we are creating a maintenance work order, we can actually assign which is the part that has to go into that particular work order. So again, I will create a new work order on which particular asset we can select which asset we want to create that particular work order to. Let's do it on a rack. So here in the parts, I can just add which is the part that I want to select actually. So I've not configured any. So from the current stock, you will be able to see what are all the parts that are available, and you can actually allocate that part into that particular work order that was generated.
Okay.
So you once this particular work order is created and assigned to a particular technician, he will get that result. Okay, this is the spare part that he has to take along when he is doing that particular work order.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Thank you.
So reports, we were talking about reports previously. So these are all the standard reports. For example, there is completed work orders per asset by category. Reports can be PDF, Excel or CSV file. We can choose the date range from when to when we need to show the report. I am selecting all assets and I am running the report. So it will generate a PDF report, something like this. So these reports can be automatically created and sent to any email ID that we configure also. So it can be either graphical reports, another one more graphical report is this one. So this report shows number of work orders requested versus number of work orders that has been completed. So if I run that report, it gives me an idea, okay, these are all the reports that were requested and these were the reports that were completed. So similarly, whatever reports that you want, we can create those reports using the report builder also. So that's what I wanted to show you today. Now we can have any other questions. If you can have, we can discuss all those now. Any other questions? Feedbacks, comments?
Hello team, I'm sharing a feedback form and please fill up the feedback form. Also, you can ask questions. We have last 10 to 15 minutes for the Q&A round. So you can ask any questions and you can share your experience also.
So, Abhirath, I have a question that I would like to ask you.
Sure.
What do you think is the right size of a company for requiring a software like this?
So
Is
there
it,
is,
yeah, is there a tipping point that you can identify that now I need something more organized and
okay.
more technical?
So there is no such point as that you need to have at least one or two or say at least 5 people in your maintenance team. So whoever is there in your company, I'm sure every organization will have at least 2 to 3 people in their maintenance team, and even they can have the CMMS implemented. And one of our licensing policy is also like that. It's basically based on number of users. So based on number of users, it can be 1 user, 2 user, or 3 user. Everything else is unlimited inside our software. Number of assets, number of work orders that you can create, everything else is unlimited. It's only number of users that is used for licensing. That's specifically done because we know if even if the size of the maintenance team is pretty small, say 2 to 3 people, still we can add a lot of value in terms of implementing the CMMS software.
Okay. Another question is how prepared does a company need to be before implementing this kind of system? Does it need people in, do they need IT department, or how knowledgeable or technical does the maintenance team need to be? Because as you know, most of the maintenance team is blue collared, and many may or may not have smartphones, or factories may not have Wi-Fi's.
Okay.
So how do you integrate these kind of people?
So as you can see today, most of us know how to use a smartphone and a mobile app. And the UI in which we have built FIIX is very easy. You saw that in the video. It's only simple notification coming in and simple work order closing. Or if they want to add more details in, then they can always log on to a terminal and add all the details in. And as far as hardware is concerned, or the kind of IT team's requirement, this is a SaaS offering again. So it's a cloud-based system. So there is no separate IT system that is required to maintain or to populate the data. Sorry, to maintain the particular system actually. The only initial setup that is required will be to collect the data. So when I say data, it is what are the assets that you have? What is the kind of scheduled maintenance that you have currently? What are the checklists that you have? So there is a particular data that you will need to collect and then feed into the system, and then the system will keep on running and you can add more features whenever it is required. So to tell short, there are good training modules also available along with FIIX. Anybody can go and attend these training modules, small modules, and then they by themselves can implement this. And in fact, most of the customers who has implemented FIIX today has implemented it by themselves without having any services from partners like or from Rockwell. But they themselves have implemented many of the instances of FIIX.
Wow. Okay.
Sir, can I speak something?
Sure.
I am having one question. There are some important.
Can you introduce
Yeah,
yourself, please?
sir. I am Kunjan Barot, looking out the UPS cells at the PIMA.
Oh, yeah.
My question is that, sir, some of the machines are having the AMC. So there are some another companies are taking care for the maintenance activity. So for there any the software configuration or integration with that dealing that with these companies. So the person are taking care for that machines are coming from the outside. So are they having the software any kind of facility?
So these notifications
Yeah.
we can send to anybody actually. So as this is a SaaS offering, it is not limited within your organization or within the LAN of your own, any of the particular organization, right? Whoever has access to the system with the username and password, or even we can configure a particular email ID so that whenever there is a notification, for example, scheduled maintenance notifications or preventive maintenance notifications that are coming in, which are supposed to be done by the AMC contractor, we can send those notifications towards them, and then we can track that also, like as you done that according to the SLAs that were provided when they ship the machine.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other questions?
We probably have time for one last question. And of course, we are not going anywhere. The whole idea of today's webinar is to just sensitize people of what this we can do in this area. And we can always come back to you and organize specific programs for your facility where more stakeholders can come. We can have a physical program or a webinar specific to a particular organization. Yeah, any other questions? We probably can take one more question.
Yeah, I see one question in the chat. Can you elaborate a little bit on that question, Mr. Jay sir?
What is your view with respect to the OEMs?
Okay.
How they can leverage in this and the futures and the price?
Okay, so are you telling me how OEM can leverage this CMMS platform?
Yes.
Right. So it's a very good question, and there are many models in which OEMs are using the same CMMS software for tracking the kind of machines that has been deployed in multiple customer sites. Right. So OEMs are sending their machines into multiple areas and multiple sites, and it is really difficult to track which is the site that is having what kind of machines, what are the preventive maintenance that are pending in which all of the SLAs that they have. So this system actually simplifies a lot of manual work, or mainly it minimize the duplication of work, because a particular service engineer might have gone to a particular area to do some preventive maintenance, but there might be 2-3 machines that the same OEM has provided, and they are not able to track what he did. They might be able to track in which location that he went, but on what assets, what were the things that were done by that particular service engineer when he visited the sites, is some of the pain points that we hear from the OEMs these days when we have discussions with them. And of course, this CMMS will help them in easing this particular pain point, and many more information related pain points like storing information, warranty details, spare part details. So all the modules can be utilized by the OEM too. Okay.
Thank you. So with that, Abhirath, thank you so much for taking time and talking to us and our customers. As I said, if any of you have more questions, we are not going anywhere. Please write to us, call our team members. We can arrange specific programs at your location, and we can get into much more depth of this particular product.
Sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you for taking your
Thank
time.
you.
And with that, we will close this session. Thank you.
Thanks a lot, team. Thanks a lot, team. Thanks for everybody for attending the session.
Thank you, Abhirath. Thank you, Vineet.
We have just put up a feedback form. I would really appreciate if all of you can please fill it up. It will give us feedback on how you felt, and it would help us to improve for our next programs. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you.